For 5 unforgettable seasons, they were the friends everyone wished they had. But behind the laughs, the Brooklyn brownstone, and the theme song fans still know by heart, there was a fight most viewers never saw. The cast of Living Single wasn't just battling storylines on screen, but were fighting for respect off it, pushing back against network pressure, unfair treatment, and decisions that could have destroyed the show before it ever had a chance. What looked like effortless chemistry was forged under fire. And the truth about what really happened is more shocking than most fans ever imagined. Today, decades later, the truth about Living Single is finally being revealed, and what the cast endured is both heartbreaking and inspiring. The very existence of Living Single was groundbreaking. Bowser became the first black woman to create and run her own primetime network sitcom. Just 27 years old at the time, she modeled the brownstone setting and character dynamics on her own group of friends in Brooklyn. Fox executives weren't sure the concept would resonate. 6 single black professionals living together didn't fit Hollywood's narrow view of black television. But Bowser fought for her vision, and Fox, in its push to attract younger and more diverse audiences, gave the green light. Casting was critical. Queen Latifah was known primarily as a rapper, with only a few film credits like Jungle Fever and House Party 2, but Bowser insisted she could anchor the show. Erica Alexander had just finished her run as Cousin Pam on The Cosby Show and hesitated to step into another sitcom role before being convinced of Bowser's vision. Kim Fields was already a household name from The Facts of Life, giving the show instant credibility. Kim Coles brought her unique humor from In Living Color, while TC Carson and John Henton were relative unknowns, Carson from theater and Henton from stand-up. Together, this unlikely lineup became lightning in a bottle. The show introduced audiences to a lineup of unforgettable characters. Queen Latifah played Khadijah James, the sharp-witted magazine editor with ambition that matched her Brooklyn hustle. Kim Coles brought to life Sinclair James, Khadijah's quirky, lovable cousin. Kim Fields shined as Regine Hunter, the stylish, drama-loving friend always chasing a wealthy man. Erica Alexander embodied Maxine Shaw, the fearless attorney with a razor-sharp tongue. On the men's side, TC Carson gave depth to Kyle Barker, the smooth Wall Street broker with an ego to match, while John Henton became fan favorite Overton Wakefield Jones, the building handyman with a heart of gold. Their chemistry lit up the screen, but from the very beginning, the cast was battling forces determined to dull their shine. One of the earliest conflicts was about Erica Alexander's character, Max. Network executives believed Max was too strong, too opinionated, too intimidating. They wanted her written out. But Bowser refused. She threatened to walk away unless Max stayed. A compromise was struck. Max wouldn't live with the other women but would appear across the street, constantly bursting through the door like she owned the place. That wasn't just a funny writing choice, but was a survival tactic, the first victory in a long war to keep the show's authenticity intact. What fans also didn't know was how quickly the cast had to build a believable friendship on screen. They weren't longtime pals in real life, they had just met. Yet their performances convinced viewers that these 6 characters had grown up together, loved each other, and sometimes annoyed each other like only family can. Over time, those fictional bonds became real ones. That bond was strengthened by the presence of actual family members on set. Queen Latifah's mother, Rita Owens, played Khadijah's mom, and Kim Fields' mother, Chip Fields, played Regine's mom. That real-life connection gave the show a foundation that went far beyond typical sitcom storytelling. Representation was at the core of Bowser's vision. Khadijah was deliberately written as a magazine owner to push back against Hollywood's one-dimensional portrayals of black women. Sinclair and Regine represented different sides of womanhood: quirky innocence and material ambition without judgment. Maxine Shaw was unapologetically bold, a working professional who spoke her mind in ways rarely seen on network TV. Hairstyles, wardrobes, and dialogue reflected Afrocentric pride and authentic black culture, inspiring audiences who had rarely seen themselves on primetime without stereotypes. But even as Living Single grew popular, storm clouds gathered. The following year, NBC launched Friends, a sitcom about, you guessed it, 6 single friends living in a big city. The similarities were impossible to ignore. Later, Queen Latifah confirmed that the president of NBC at the time admitted he wished he had Living Single on his network. Shortly after that, Friends was born. Kim Coles has said without hesitation that Living Single influenced Friends 100%. 0%. The inequity was glaring. Both shows were produced by Warner Brothers and filmed on the same Burbank lot, but the treatment was night and day. Friends had million-dollar wardrobes, massive promotional campaigns, and record-breaking salaries. Living Single often recycled outfits because the wardrobe budget was so small. While the Friends cast had magazine covers and national advertising, Living Single had to rely on word of mouth and the loyalty of its audience. Latifah would later say, "We didn't get the push. We didn't get the machine. We made it because people loved it, not because we were hyped." TC Carson described the disparity as a slap in the face, watching their blueprint become someone else's empire. The inequity wasn't just financial, but it was deeply personal. Kim Coles revealed that executives constantly pressured her to lose weight. At the beginning of each season, her manager would get calls warning her that if she didn't slim down, they would start writing fat jokes into the script. Instead of crumbling under that pressure, Coles leaned on her castmate. Erica Alexander immediately said she wouldn't read those kinds of jokes, while Queen Latifah also refused to let body shaming become part of their show. Behind closed doors, the women created a space of body positivity where they celebrated each other's natural beauty. Their bond was so strong that, as Coles later revealed, their menstrual cycles even synced up from spending so much time together. The bond became even more profound during moments of grief. Queen Latifah, still reeling from the tragic death of her brother Lancelot in 1992, carried her pain quietly on set. She wore a key around her neck every day during filming, the key to the motorcycle she had bought for him before his fatal accident. Most fans never knew the necklace wasn't just a prop. It was a personal memorial, a way for Latifah to keep her brother close as she built her career. Kim Coles, who shared a dressing room with Latifah, said she felt it was her role to keep her co-star laughing through that pain. That kind of mutual care was the unseen heartbeat of the show. But no amount of love within the cast could shield them from the harshest blow: the firing of TC Carson. Carson had become the spokesperson for the group, often speaking up to producers about how the characters were written. He pushed back when he felt Kyle and Overton were being turned into caricatures, arguing that black men deserved to be seen as more than buffoons. Instead of respecting his advocacy, the network labeled him difficult. Despite his suspicions, producers assured him Kyle wasn't being written off, until the day he watched his own final episode air and got a call from his lawyer minutes later, confirming his contract wouldn't be renewed. The betrayal was devastating, not just to Carson, but to his co-stars. Erica Alexander later admitted she felt lost without him, saying their on-screen banter was so essential that she didn't even know how to be Max without Kyle. The final season struggled without Carson. New characters like Trip and Roni were introduced, but none captured the magic of the original cast. The writers tried to patch things together by giving Max and Kyle a last-minute happy ending in the finale, revealing Max was pregnant with Kyle's child via sperm donation. But the damage was done. The firing fractured the chemistry that had made Living Single so beloved, and the show ended in 1998 after 5 seasons. Yet, the story didn't end there. The cast went on to prove that their strength extended far beyond the brownstone. Queen Latifah transformed into a global superstar, Oscar-nominated actress, Grammy-winning rapper, talk show host, and now the lead and executive producer of CBS's The Equalizer. Kim Fields shifted seamlessly into directing, helming episodes of hit shows while continuing to act, most recently in Netflix's The Upshaws. Kim Coles reinvented herself as a motivational speaker, author, and life coach while continuing to act, including a recent role on Days of Our Lives. Erica Alexander became a force for activism and storytelling, co-founding Color Farm Media and producing acclaimed projects like John Lewis, Good Trouble, and The Big Payback. TC Carson reinvented himself as a successful jazz singer and iconic voice actor, best known as the original voice of Kratos in the God of War video game series. And John Henton, after surviving a near-fatal car accident in 2000, chose to focus on stand-up comedy, continuing to bring joy to audiences nationwide. Reunions and revival talk have kept the show alive. In 2017, the cast appeared on The Real, where Queen Latifah confirmed a reboot was being discussed. Scheduling and rights issues stalled progress, but fans' demand hasn't faded. In 2020, cast members participated in virtual table reads, and Erica Alexander and Kim Coles launched the Reliving Single podcast, offering fans new behind-the-scenes stories with every episode. Their post-show journeys reflect the very lessons they learned while making living single. If the industry won't give you power, you create it for yourself. If the spotlight dims, you shine in your own way. And if your family gets fractured, you hold on to the love that remains. And that's the untold story behind living single. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite moment from the show? And which character do you think carried the brownstone best? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more stories like this, and tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching.